Hello, my name is Lacey Beal. I am a teacher at Caneview Elementary. Caneview K to 8 on the elementary side. This is more geared towards elementary teachers, and we're going to be talking about mystery science. I'm sure most of you have heard of it or used it in some way, but if not, let's go through the process. So you're going to go to Google, type in mystery science, and then log in. Once you've logged in, you can do one of two things. If you wanted to use this in your classroom, face-to-face, these align with our NGSS standards and our Louisiana standards. So these can be used to supplement or use in place of science dimensions. That's clearly going to be up to your instructional coach and administration. So when you get to the lessons, when you see lessons, it's going to be full out lessons that are aligned. And then there's the choice of mini lessons. And the mini lessons are just quick videos of questions that students have asked and mailed in or sent in, and then Doug answers those questions. And there's a lot of higher order thinking that goes on, and usually a little craft or a DIY or an experiment or project right afterwards. So the kids love it. If your kids haven't used it, try it. If you just need a brain break, they are really engaged with these videos. So if you are going to use the lessons, you'll find all the lessons are located in order down the page. You can go to activity prep. So let's say we wanted to do lesson 1, mystery 1, find the best beak. So they've just upgraded this to where you can now put in the amount of students that you have, and it will populate a shopping list for you so that you know what you need to get, which is pretty cool. You can actually go ahead and at the beginning of the year decide which ones you're going to use, and then turn in that order form to your instructional coach to get these materials for you. So those are the activity prep, and it also goes into what the teacher needs to know, prep instructions, which is great. And then there are the standards that are assessed. So if you needed to pull those up, you can look at how they're aligned, and then assessments that are already made for you. Most of the ones in the lessons here are done where you have a worksheet that they fill out, but they've also made it to where you can embed them into your Google Classroom, which is helpful if we don't know if we're going to be doing digital learning. It's also a good idea to use if you have a student that you know is going to be out for a while. You can assign this to them, even if you're doing it in your class face-to-face with your traditional students. That way they're still getting the standard, and they can do it from home just as an option. So when you go to mini lessons, and I'm not going to go through the whole video process. That's something that you would probably really enjoy doing on your own. I would highly recommend going through, just sit through one of the little sessions just to see how engaging they really are. It comes with video, and throughout the video there are questions that are that you have for team talk or whole group, and then it continues, and then there's an extension, which is your bonus, and then you can vote, which is cool because this is probably the top thing that the kids love, is being able to vote on the next choice. So it comes up with the questions that Doug says, these are the next questions that we have. Have your students
Now,
vote.
we're taking a break from answering new questions for a few weeks. But in the meantime, here.
So they get to vote, and that kind of gives your students the student voice on what it is that they want to learn next. And the vote that wins the most throughout the nation is the one that's going to be made for the following week, which is pretty cool. So you can see here that you can share via student link. If you're not using Google Classroom, you can embed it maybe as a hyperlink in a Google Sheet or a Google Doc. Or you can click on Google Classroom, and it should bring up all the Google Classrooms that you have or that you have created. So this is where I would select which class I wanted to do it to. So let me do it to my STEM enrichment class. Let's see, let's make that a little bit bigger. And you can see it already embeds the questions that are there. It gives you the bonus activity and then also a link to the video that they watch. You could assign this for points or however you want to manage that in your classroom. There is also extension link, which basically pulls up everything that was just put in Google Classroom, and you could copy and paste it to wherever you needed it to. I think what you'll find interesting, let me go back to lessons. For the assessments, you can, because it all used to be worksheets. Let's see, activity prep, assessments. My internet is running slow. It's like if it rains outside, my internet decides that it doesn't want to work. So view Mystery 1 assessment, I would click on that. And you can make it editable. You can see it in Spanish. And this would be something that you would probably do hands-on. However, if you go back, sorry, I got lost in my thoughts. So if we went here to using Mystery Science for distance learning, this will give you an entire how-to book, really. It's a guide for teachers. What is Mystery Science? How can you use it? Hands-on lessons, ready to get started. So here were the mini lessons, and then here's the actual lessons that align. And then it tells you how you would embed it with your Google Classroom, your activities that you can do, shows you the lesson videos and how you could also put those into your Google Classroom. So everything now has a direct link. You don't have to figure out how you're going to embed things like that. So the digital handouts, you can make an editable version to where you change it to fit the needs of your students. And then there's also Google Form assessments, which kind of, I would say might not be for first grade, but I know for second, third, and fourth and fifth have the Google Form assessments. And what that is it brings up the whole thing into a Google Form in which you, let's see, does that allow me to click on it? It brings up a Google Form, and then you make a copy of it and you embed that into your Google Classroom. They take the test, the assessment, and then, as you know, with Google Classroom and Google Forms, it puts all the answers in a consolidated area on your Google Drive in an Excel sheet. So pretty cool stuff. Really, there is not much that you have to do except for make sure that you have the materials and to make sure that it is aligning to what you're teaching. I use this in my STEM classroom because they were learning science dimensions in their homeroom classroom, and then when they would come to me for STEM, we would extend the learning by using the same standard but in a different point of view, different context. These aren't the exact materials or content that they are learning in Science Dimensions. Okay, sorry about that. My 3-year-old really wanted me to put on Paw Patrol, even though we discussed not interrupting during my video. So I'm sure you can all relate. It's pretty straightforward. I would just go throughout the site and just kind of play around and check out the really cool stuff, the content that they have, and the videos and experiments and activities that are included with it. If you have any further questions, you can email me at lacy.behl, BEHL, at wbrschools.net, or you can contact Stephanie or Tammy. I'm going to put some extra links in with this video link so that you can find some additional resources. Okay, thank you for sticking with me, and I hope that your kids love Mystery Science as much as mine did. Bye!